5.
And we're not live streaming, right?
We might be. I don't know. We might in the background, but you never know.
Surprise.
Surprise. Welcome, everyone, to the Profit Cleaners podcast. This is awesome. We are on a brand new call today with one of our top students, Jen Mignard, and I am so excited for her to be joining us today. We're going to dive in and just see what Jen's been doing, what kind of progress she's been making with her cleaning business. She just started her cleaning business, I think, earlier this year, right, Jen?
Yes, it's about 6 months old.
Awesome. 6 months old. So let's dive in. Jen, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you found the Profit Cleaners and what you're doing in your business. I can't wait to hear it.
So, I was previously a nurse, an RN for 12 years. Have a bachelor's degree in nursing, and it just was no longer satisfying. Was really getting burned out. Then the pandemic hit. And, if anything was going to kind of bring forth all the negative aspects of the nursing culture, well, the pandemic did it, brought it right to the forefront. And it was causing so much stress that I left the nursing field. I worked at a law office for a few months, and I can't tell you how I found your podcast. I truly don't remember. It must have been serendipitous, but I recall listening to the first couple, and I thought, wow, I can do this. I have never cleaned in my life other than my own personal home. But I've managed people. I can do this. And in particular, there was one episode you had done about giving back to your community. And that really hit home because I like to volunteer myself. Even 6 months in, I'm already starting to do things for my community with my business. Not big things because, it's what I can afford. Yeah. But that really hit home. And I thought, wow, I think this is what I need to do. So the next big step was actually convincing my husband, who was pretty sure I had some questionable cleaning skills, that this was something I could pursue. And it was something that, that it was something that I wouldn't get burned out on. And it took some convincing. I think it was early February I found your podcast of this year. 2021, and by the end of March, I took that first big step, which was registering my LLC, and it was terrifying because that meant it was real. My husband, I think, still wasn't sure that I was going to go through with it. But once I took that leap and that momentum got going, it was like, okay, well, I'm all in now, and I don't have a choice. I didn't give myself a choice. Head first, balls to the wall, basically, and just kept moving forward. Started with the website. Finally realized that even though legally I was a business on April 1st of this year, that I needed to pick a drop dead date for myself and give my notice at work, that type of thing. And that was May 1st. And starting May 1st, I went full time. I went from zero to hero, I guess, if you could say that. Yeah. And here I am. Not quite 6 months. Well, I guess, yeah, we're 6 months later. And I'm sitting at receivables right now, right around $65,000, $70,000 for the year.
Awesome. That is huge. Congrats.
So revenue is not that high, obviously.
That's higher than our first year.
So yeah, there's been a lot of challenges. Financially, a lot of challenges still. Obviously, everyone's going through the staffing challenge. I think I've actually been pretty blessed there. One of my big challenges, I'm located outside of Billings, Montana. Yellowstone County is huge. We only have a population of about 160,000. So fairly small population. But myself, I live 18 miles outside of town. So a lot of commuting. being in Montana, I drive a full-size pickup truck, so my
Yeah.
fuel costs are high. That's huge. And my clients, they are located all over eastern Yellowstone County, and some are so far out that I simply have to charge a fuel surcharge
Yep.
to make
That
it
is
worth it
very
to head out
wise.
there. So,
Jen,
yeah.
that was a great introduction to everybody. I love it. I would call you like the star student in the Facebook group. I always love your posts when you put them up because you would give us you were just putting it all out on the table. This is my financials. This is how it's going. Here's the
Right.
problems I've had, and I think that type of attitude is very good. So congratulations there.
Thank you.
I'm loving your success with the revenue. I know that sounds like revenue is not too high, but we started in July, the first year that we were inbound, and that was 2017. And I think we did 66 that first 6 months. So you're already above us, and you still have 2 months to go. So
doing awesome.
way to go there.
Wow. Okay, great.
Yeah, so you're doing just fine as far as I'm concerned. This is just getting the ball rolling here.
Right.
Your website's fantastic. I'm pulling that up while we're here on the phone. So
Yeah, I was just looking at it too. I love the beautiful pictures in Montana already. I just want to move to Montana. It looks awesome.
yeah,
Well, we'd be glad to have you.
yeah,
Yeah.
everyone should check that out. It's montananaturalclean.com. This is a very clean website. I like the way that it looks, and you're a clean company, so I think that works hand in hand. It's very minimalistic. I dig it.
Yep.
If you can you tell us, like, I see that you offer an online client portal. Can you let people know, like, what software you ended up going with to kind of pull all this off?
So, obviously, being brand new, budget is a big issue right now. I'm very conscientious about where every penny goes because I don't want to end up in any type of financial binds, especially now that I do have 2 employees. So I ended up going with Jobber, and I just use their basic program. I am potentially going to be looking at going over to possibly a different CRM, but right now Jobber is meeting my needs, and it is one of the least expensive. Being the only person, trying to run this business, that professionalism right out the start, right out of the gate was so important for me. It was something that not a lot of companies, especially in my area, were offering that. The clients have responded especially well to having that client portal. They love being able to keep credit cards on file. They especially love when I tell them that I don't have access to those cards, so they're very secure. And it's just provided me with this additional level of, like I said, professionalism, so that I can appear like the big guys, even though, I'm small fries right now compared to some of my local competition. But I'm offering things that the big guys are not currently providing their clients.
Tell us more about that. What are you doing that they're not doing? I think that's a good way to set the small business owners apart.
Yeah. So I just obviously did research because I had no idea what I was doing going into this. I'm offering this client portal. There's a couple other large companies. I don't believe that we any longer have any of the major franchises. They closed during the pandemic. So we no longer have Maids franchises locally. It is all small business. But as far as what I'm doing, one of the first things was my website. I did design my website myself, again, to save money. That is my second iteration that you're looking at. The first one was pretty clunky, and I realized I needed to clean it up. And when I compared that to my local competition, just being able to provide something neat and clean and minimalist, and yet professional looking still, was important. I believe that helps set the client's expectations. If you're coming at your client and you're not, dressed professionally and just in some sort of uniform, I personally wear a polo shirt 99% of the time with my company embroidered on on the chest. You know, I have that website that you've commented on. I have the client portal. You know, the clients are not going to expect me to be the you know, bare bones, low budget cleaner. They just know that looking at what I have to offer. So they're automatically expecting, okay, well, this is a luxury service. Chances are she's going to charge a luxury price. And I do.
Yes, yeah, that is the magic word. Luxury is the magic word, I think. I
Yes.
like the use of
Yes.
that. Way to go. I'm looking at your Facebook stream as well. You're very good at the social media. This is all the more impressive considering you're one person. I think that's pretty spectacular. Can you
Jen,
tell me more about this? What's that?
Sorry, I just want to jump in. I just think you have such a wonderful, shining smile. You should put your face, you and your husband's face on here, and your family as well, if you can, you know, because people love seeing faces, emotions. Those are really good. Yeah. I would add that.
You're using a steam cleaner on these ovens. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so you know, I'm really into research, and I think that's the nurse part of me. Everything in nursing has to be evidence-based, and quite frankly, there's a lot of cleaning nonsense out there. I mean, there really is. And so one of the things that being a natural cleaner is I didn't want to use anything too harsh. First of all, my health can't handle that. I have asthma. I can't be sticking my head in an oven full of, you know, oven cleaner, caustic chemicals. And so just researching things and lots of watching YouTube videos, that type of thing. And finally, I just bit the bullet and I bought a fairly powerful steam machine. It was in about the $200 range. So not real expensive, but also not the $1,000 model. And I went for it. And first thing I did was I tested it on my own oven because if I was going to ruin anything, I didn't want the insurance claim. So yeah, and found that this steamer works amazing. Yes, it takes a lot more elbow grease, and it also, you know, it's longer. It's not a quick clean. However, the clients are willing to pay for it when you explain to them that it's a chemical-free cleaning process. And when you say, you know, I'm not going to use chemicals to clean your oven because you're going to put food in there when I'm done. Then suddenly they say, okay, you know, I'm willing to go, you know, to pay that extra to have it cleaned with steam, clean it naturally.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, I love that.
Any comments, Mr. Shane?
So I just love the website. I love what you're doing here. I was just looking at your market, and just even a broader look at it, like Montana in general. It looks like you have quite a bit of opportunity, like to get in, especially if the bigger franchises are going down, because there's not a whole lot of people that have like hundreds of reviews. It's mostly like 50 or 60 reviews, and not a whole lot. So I'm just saying you could really catch up and become like the dominant force in your market pretty quickly, especially if you just find a way to get people leaving those reviews on your Google listing or anywhere really. But in the beginning, we really pushed the Google My Business maps. That's really where a lot of people will find you. If you can get that optimized, you'll get a lot of natural traffic and organic traffic coming from that. But otherwise, yeah, I think what you're doing is awesome. I want to hear more about. Actually, Brandon and I were looking at doing a bunch of interviews with different softwares pretty soon, but it's just interesting to hear your feedback on Jobber and how you like that as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do an episode soon where we're gonna do some demos with maybe 5 or 6 different software companies, so everyone can kind of see what it's like to use Jobber as a cleaning company. Because a lot of these Jobber, House Call Pro, every one of those companies, none of them are really focused on cleaning. I think there is one company that I can think of off the top of my head that is just cleaning, but the rest are HVAC and plumbing. And so sometimes those companies have features in there that are great for other businesses, but not so hot for cleaning. So the feedback on Jobber was great. So
yeah,
thanks for giving us that.
Yeah.
Jen, if you had like one pressing issue that you needed help with that you wanted us to talk you through, what would that be?
So my biggest issue right now is, you know, I burn the candle at both ends right now. Busy family, We have big outdoor activities year round. Kids are starting sports. I'm trying to run this business. My husband works full time also. How do you guys stay motivated at the beginning? I know that I've heard all well, what's your why? Okay, well, we know the why, but let's get a little deeper than that. Even though you know your why, how do you just, get off the couch on those days
Yeah.
when all you really want to do is dig your head in the sand?
Yeah, that one hits home. That's hard. That is so hard. And 2020 was a year that really kind of like hammered that home. If you were not in a good headspace and then 2020 just piled it on top of it, man, it was hard to get out of bed some of those days for sure.
Yeah, I was just gonna add, Jen, like it's not always easy. I mean, like there's definitely days that I feel like I don't want to do this either, especially in the beginning when it was just Brandon and I, and it felt like we were like alone building this business, and you don't even have someone to do it with even, so you might feel that even more. But I would say it really is your mental game. Like if you're always working on your mental game, just like surrounding yourself with people or content or reading or whatever it is that like fills you up and just keeps, like Brandon said, that headspace of just positivity and keeping you hungry. Because when you get really aggressive and you get really like hungry for what you're going after, you don't have time for feelings of like emotions of fear and doubt and depression. Like think about it like a football player going to make the touchdown. He doesn't just kind of like hold the football kind of lightly and look around and be like, I don't know. Like he's aggressive. He's all in. Like you said, you have that all in mentality. So I think once you get your mind straight, that the results become so much easier because you're aggressive about it and you don't have time to even feel those negative emotions or thoughts, because really what it comes down to is if you don't do this, you're going to have the biggest regret in your life ever someday, because you're like, I could have done better. I could have tried harder. I could have pushed harder. So for me, that's what drives me a lot too, is I don't ever want to feel like I didn't do what I wanted to do for my family and for my kids and get us the success we wanted, even though I talked about it all the time. I think for me, that's what it is. I don't want to ever have that regret in my life. So when I do start feeling those negative emotions or thoughts, I just switch it off, because you just don't have time for it, because I'm so hungry for the success and what I really want for my life. And so I just don't let myself focus on it, just create a structure so I don't get distracted with that stuff and eliminate things that get in your way, that's how I deal with it. So.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
There's some other things too that I think you could employ there is make sure you're carving out some time for yourself. Like it's really easy to get bogged down in, okay, this part of the day is kids and this part of the day is family and this part of the day is work. And then with whatever time I have left over, I'm going to redo the website for the third time. So, find something that you enjoy doing and try and guard some time for you to be able to do that. I know that's going to be hard when you're very small. I remember Brandon and I were down here in the office building shelves at midnight, like when we were brand new. And my wife actually accused me of having an affair. That was a fun conversation because I was never at home. And so I had to dial that back a little bit and be like, okay, I'm really sorry. Here's my phone. This is where it is. I'm always at the office. So find some time for you, some you time to do that. I joined a climbing gym that I like quite a bit. I try and hit that up multiple times a week, just for quick 20 minutes to get in there and do some exercise. I think that's good. So you keep up with whatever hobby you had before. Like don't try to abandon it. Keep going with the dog mushing. That's
right.
Keep going with that. And then there's lots of different tools at your availability. I'm a big fan of meditation apps like Calm and Headspace. I think those are very helpful, especially if you're having a hard time. Like you can just sit down for a session real quick and kind of calm yourself down a little bit. And then the other thing that I have here locally, but it's a peer group. We meet once a month, and it's other people that own businesses. So it's not necessarily like we've got a Facebook group, which is great, and we're happy to talk to people about the cleaning business all the time. But this one is just for business owners of any kind of business owners. And so those are kind of handy because you get to bounce some ideas off of a hive mind. You get to hear what it's like from an engineer's perspective or a plumber's perspective or whatever it is. And I remember telling someone about, what that group was like, and really, like, it's kind of lonely when you're running a business like that. Like, a lot of people don't understand the load that you've taken on to try and build this functioning beast of a company, and it's hard. So I guess what I'm saying is, communicate with some other people that are kind of in the same boat, not necessarily the cleaning company boat, but the entrepreneur boat.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a quote that I don't know who said it, but I always hear it. It's like, you are the sum of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. And so whether that's through podcasts or in person or watching a YouTube video or however you're surrounding yourself with, whatever people in your life, even if it's a book, surround yourself with those people, because they're going to lift you up, like if you feel like if you're on a chair and someone was pulling you down, that's what most people are doing around you in your life, that are just your comparison, and it's just a lot of negative emotion, especially when you're starting a business. But surround yourself with people that are better than you, that are going to say, hey, you can do more, you can be helping more people, and bring your energy and your spirits up. So again, that's just mindset stuff, and surrounding yourself with the people and the right messaging, and that's what does it for me, because it is easy for me to tailspin even into like a real negative state if I don't do that. And I think, just like sports, I think of it like business is like sports, like a lot of it's mental, but a lot of it is in your environment too. So like Brandon actually is a great example of like creating structure in your life for like meal prep or something. So like he would always, him and his wife do like this meal prep on Sundays. They have all their meals done for the week, so that now they've created like this structure so that they're not like last minute like throwing a meal together and all stressed out. And it's just like they've created structure. Or you can do that like in your mornings, create like a routine. Like the most successful people I know, have a routine. They make their bed in the morning, they meditate, they read a book, they write in their journal, they spend time with their significant other, with their kids, whatever. But have a routine. Like Brandon said, break off that time, guard that time. If it means you got to get up a little earlier in the morning to make sure you get in your routine, so you have that structure in your life, that's what it's all about. You got to do what other people aren't willing to do as an entrepreneur. And a lot of the best entrepreneurs I know that are really successful, like they accomplish more before like 9 o'clock in the morning than most people do in a whole day. So if you start your day with like a really positive momentum, fill yourself up with something really awesome, like just do something that gets you, going for the day, and your juice is flowing, you're excited. That's what's going to carry you through the whole day, even more so maybe than your reason why, because it's just this, just tons of other positive things you're doing and just putting in your mind, and you're bringing yourself up to this another level of mindset where you can have the energy to take action, to do what you need to do to win, so
Yeah,
that's what I'd say.
For the record, Jen, I think you're doing a fantastic job, and I look forward to those Facebook posts from you when they come out, because they're so cool to see like this trajectory that you're on. You're doing really, really good. So I know that part is hard in the beginning. Were you able to sort of get any of the COVID relief funds from any of the state or those loans that could kind of help take some pressure off of things?
No, I wasn't. So the I started my business after the qualification period for that had expired. But what I can say is that this whole thing has been on a shoestring and bootstrap. I took I don't know what it was called, the Biden bucks, the
Stimulus money.
The stimulus money. Yes, thank you. I had taken the stimulus money, and rather than going out and buying clothes, I went out and bought cleaning equipment, and I bought top of the line cleaning equipment to make sure that when I started this, I was going to be able, again, luxury product. I need luxury equipment because that's what my clients expect. And so that's all of our stimulus money went right back into this business that had not yet started. So that is what has bankrolled me going forward.
Yeah, that's a very smart move. I mean, that's investing in yourself in the future.
Yeah.
I think what I keep hearing you say, Jen, is like you went all in. Like you had that zero options mentality, and we're not going to fail. We got to make this work. Is there anything else that you think you did in the last 6 months that like made you so successful? Because you're doing awesome. So, I mean, is there any other habits or any other things you've done, you think, other than just going all in?
Going all in, and then the big thing for me has been trying not to think like a small business. I don't want to have that small business mentality that, like, oh, it's okay. This can go away and it'll be all right, because it's not. And the further you get in, the more you have people relying on you. I now have two part-time employees. They're relying on me for income. So, I have to make sure that I have a big business mentality, because it's also going to be, if you have that small business mentality and you finally get to the point where, say, you are now seven figures, it's going to be very hard to switch from mom and pop to, legitimately, significant business revenue to, still thinking like, okay, I can sleep in till 10, and let's reschedule this, and well, maybe if we finagle here, and that type of thing. So just trying to maintain like the utmost in professionalism, that type of thing across the board.
Yep.
Yeah. Like
We're big on abundancy mindset at Profit Cleaners, and I think you're taking the whole picture right there. So that is very big. I think it's all about how you think about things to drive that stuff forward.
Well, and I do have to say, for anyone that's listening and they're not sure about starting, because I wasn't sure about this. I was terrified, shaking when I made that first, hit the send button to register my LLC. And I listened to your podcasts, and I listened to all of them. I got completely up to date. Then I purchased your 10X program, and I've gone through that. And the big thing was not reinventing the wheel. Don't reinvent the wheel. The wheel is there. Just roll with what is already successful, and then just keep going forward. You can add to it, but don't try to create something completely new. You guys, you share your successes, you've shared your failures. I feel like I'm learning from both, and, just not, yeah, I maybe have copied a little bit, but, what do they say? Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. So, yes, I'm flattering you guys quite a bit here. But yeah, don't reinvent the wheel. You guys are living for us. Just run with it. You've done a fantastic job of taking. I knew nothing. I've never run a business. I have some business management experience when I was a director of nursing, so I have some nursing management experience. However, being able to run a business is a totally different ball of wax, and you guys have made it much more approachable than I would have never done this before finding your podcast.
I love hearing
super
that.
Cool. Wow. I mean, just imagine you would be maybe still nursing right now if it wasn't for Brandon and I want to get on this microphone and talk about our business over here. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Very
Wow.
cool.
I think a lot of people are going to be inspired by that, Jen, because I think that what you said right there is so powerful. Like, it's not about working hard and trying to make things, like trying to create something brand new. Like, there's that quote, there's nothing new under the sun, right? So model what works. That's what Tony Robbins always says. If you want success, just find someone who's doing what you want to do, model that success. And that's what we did with Corby. So we're doing it too, like we copied what Corby was doing, because he had spent 20 years doing this cleaning business and perfecting it. And it's really just about the knowledge and taking action. And once you have the knowledge, then you have a little more confidence to know, okay, this is my strategy. I'm going to chop this way instead of this way. And you just get building that mindset, that confidence, surrounding yourself with maybe listening to us. Like, we did the same thing in the beginning. We still talk to Corby, our mentor, all the time, and it helps us like allay fears or just be more confident that this is the direction we need to go. So yeah, I commend you. I think you're doing awesome. That's the way to do it, is work smart, not hard. Model what works, put your own spin on it, put your own flavor on it, and that's what you're doing. It's awesome.
I love the spin you got going already. The steam machine, I think, is a good addition, and I like your pitch that I'm not going to clean your oven with chemicals because you're going to put food in it. That's a really good, like, here's why it's worth paying the upcharge for whatever the steam cleaning is on the oven. I think that's fantastic. So you're clearly doing it. I mean, you did what we did. You took that, you put your nuts and bolts onto it that you wanted it to improve and make it your own thing, and I think it's working out great.
Yeah, and like in this business and every business, Jen, what I've learned, because I've had a lot of different businesses, is it really just comes down to, like, a lot of times business is just mundane, consistent, showing up and doing the mundane work every day, and then eventually you have a team that you build around you that helps you do that. Especially like with the cleaning, that's the first thing that we basically outsourced and had brought on teams for right from the beginning. But yeah, it's really this cool like growth that you're going through. Look at it like the harder it is, like look at everything in your life that's been hard. Those are the times you grow the most, and you look back and you're like, wow, that was so hard, but I'm so glad I did that, you know. And I grew in all these areas that I pushed myself, and now I'm a better mom, now I'm a better wife. I mean, all these things that you get from that. So yeah, just don't stop, don't slow down. Now that you've hit these goals, though, you're like a really great first year starting out. Like, what's your next goals? What are you looking to do next?
So I have quite a few goals. I try to make my goals attainable because it's definitely easier to make baby steps than it is. Yes, I could have gone out the door and said, I'm going to have an office and my own, company cars by the end of the year. Well, that wasn't realistic. What was realistic was saying, my very first goal was not a money goal. It wasn't anything like that. It was, I want to hire my first employee by 3 months. That was my first goal. It was, it seemed attainable. And I blew it out of the water because I had to hire my first employee by 3 weeks. Nice. So, wow. And she's still with me. She's absolutely phenomenal. I just totally lucked out there. And then the next goal was, okay, well, maybe I'll hire my second employee. And I had a date, and I don't remember what it was because it doesn't matter now, but I got them hired. Then I've outsourced to a CPA because I know my limitations. Numbers are not my friend.
Yep.
So, I have a CPA that does my bookkeeping and will be doing my taxes at the end of the year because I am not a tax specialist and I'm not a bookkeeper. The chances of me messing up and losing out on a year is a big deal to me. I would probably save more money, or I know I'm going to save more money paying him monthly than I would trying to spend and pull my hair out trying to do taxes and bookkeeping at the end of the year and then miss out on things that could be written off. So, for me, that was an easy one, outsourcing to him. And then, the other thing I have to say is that I have kind of gotten my business already into a point where I'm able to step away. My 2 staff are able to step in and just kind of take over. I'm not having to clean every day. I'm still going out and doing so. But personally, I have some health issues. And so they're able to step in and they step up, and I've allowed them, I don't nitpick them, first of all, and I allow them some ownership. That autonomy to make decisions and sometimes make mistakes, and it's all right. Everyone is allowed to make mistakes. You start nitpicking them, they'll say bye, see ya. I just automatic feedback from them. If they're doing something great, I let them know immediately. If there's something that could be changed, done a little different, I'll let them know. If it's something that I have to sit back and think, am I nitpicking my employees? And if I say, yeah, I'm just going to nitpick, I leave it because you can't micromanage either. And so I think that's an important piece. I'm in a lot of different Facebook groups for cleaning and that type of thing. And I see that. I see where, I'm going to, I can't keep employees and this person is horrible and this and that. And I'm like, well, I think you might be nitpicking them. Just let them do their job. Yeah. Because if they're happy, the client's happy. That's all there is to it.
Yep. You're saying all the right things. I mean, you've got a really good understanding of it. And I think you're going to go very, very far. So keep that up. Keeping the employees happy like that is a good way to go. That's how you you already said you were blessed on the staffing side of things. That's work that you put in to retain those employees. If you had walked in the first day and been like, there's a hair behind the toilet, you're fired, like no one's going to want to work for you. You know what I mean? So you've really done a good job.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The phrase that comes to mind is the teamwork makes the dream work, you know? So getting the right team around you. If it's not the cleaners, it's the CPA, and then it's something else. It's the marketing or the sales or whatever it might be. But really, in the beginning, it is things like the cleaners or the things that you're not the best at. Those are the things you want to immediately hand off to someone else. And you only want to be focusing on what are you the best at? Like, what do you love doing? What do you like when people say, man, Jen is amazing at this, whatever that is. Maybe it's meeting with people. Maybe it's training your teams. Maybe, only you would know that. But write that down and focus on that. And basically everything else you should try to outsource or hand off to your team and delegate that and focus on what you do best. And that's how you're going to really be happy in your business. That's how, when you do that for your teams, like you said, you're not micromanaging, you're empowering them. They're going to take ownership of their role. And when people know you're not looking over their shoulder like that, they're going to do an even better job and they're going to own that position. And I think that's the beauty of it, is everyone rises to the occasion and everyone's a lot happier. And then that filters down into the customers. They're happier. They feel it too. It's like this cycle, of synergy. So yeah, really, really cool, Jen. I'm really excited to hear all the stuff you're doing.
Great
So, is there anything else we can help you with in the near term before the end of the year, or I don't know if there's other goals that you have?
Some podcast episode you want to hear us make in the future, whatever.
Well, and I know you guys are working on your cleaning program.
Yep.
The big thing that I'm focused on right now is just trying to, not only continue to recruit, I'm kind of getting that fire going, trying to recruit more new clients, because I had kind of slacked off on that a little bit. And, there's always some attrition in the fall with clients. So now trying to recruit some more, get some more leads flowing in, and it is already happening. I've already had a few today, just starting a couple days ago. So that's already working. But efficiency with my cleaning systems. I'm slowly picking up pieces here and there of more commercial type cleaning systems and cleaning equipment. I think the big thing is, I think there's only one thing I buy at Walmart, because again, you have to think like a big company. And using the stuff that's meant for just regular home use doesn't cut it. And so that has improved things, but I'm definitely looking forward to, the course that you guys have coming out, for the teams of 3.
I think it's going to be a huge help. I mean, that was a big part of when we got off the ground, was those cleaning systems, really dialing those in. And even the first few months of business or the first year, getting the efficiencies more in place, that bonus report helped a ton with just getting everyone, like incentivizing everyone to move efficiently. And, money talks a lot of times, and it will incentivize people to do the things you want them to do or not. So that is I'm really excited. That's coming out, and it's going to be out any day now. So that's going to be a huge help for you.
We've got a beta release of that coming out very soon. There's a bunch of efficiency stuff in there that I think you'll like in that course. So the bonus report is going to be detailed in there. We're going to have details on rotations of who does what on a 3-person team, and then I think we're going to try and get up the 2-person team back up, because we do have a system for running 2 people when a third is out sick or something like that.
Okay.
So, yeah. All that's on the way. I will make a note to try and maybe crank out an episode on efficiencies in a cleaning company and where to look for them, outside of buying the cleaning course. But there's always ways in any business to kind of reframe how you think about stuff to try and do that, and we can kind of go over that a little bit in the future, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. So we're really excited about it though, because it's literally like the same training that we've been finessing over time to train our teams. And even to this day, we're in there, we're always looking at the efficiencies and measuring that, because that's what makes everything go. And like labor being your biggest expense, if you can dial that in and have less overtime or no overtime, and everyone's moving really well, and on top of that, if you're building your culture and everyone's happy and everything, like, then you kind of just get into this, what we call it with Corby when we go up and see his teams clean up in Denver. It's like this choreographed dance like through the house, and they're just like, it's so smooth, and they just move back and forth, and it's really, really cool to see that. So I would say we're still even improving. There's no perfection in the cleaning business. We're going to make mistakes. People are human, but we're always getting better. We're always looking for ways to do that. So yeah, so we will keep you, you'll definitely be first to know, Jen. Keep an eye out in the next like week or less, because we were just putting the finishing touches on a lot of that, and I'll let you know. So
Great. Thank you. Yeah, I could really really benefit from something like that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Jen, it's been great talking to you today. You've done such a cool job. I'm so proud of you. Like, you're just doing so great in Montana. I really hope that we can get up there and see your setup sometime. I've got good friends in Livingston that I've been meaning to visit for such a long time, so hopefully I can jump over to Billings when we get up there. You can find Jen online. She's Montana Natural Cleaning. It's montananaturalcleaning.com, correct?
Yeah, montananaturalclean.com.
montananaturalclean.com. Check out her Facebook page for some inspiration on what you should be posting on a regular basis. It's very, very good. And keep those posts coming. I love those updates when you put them in the group. It's so fun to read those, and you can actually go back. You can go into that Facebook group and search your name, and you can go all the way back to your first post and kind of track the progress over time, which is so, so cool.
It is. Yeah, you're a great example, Jen. So yeah, just keep focused on going all in, taking that big action. Don't let those thoughts of negativity affect you if you're just being aggressive and looking at what you're trying to achieve. And if the thing I'm keep telling everyone, like I know we're only in November, but it's like if you start getting aggressive now instead of in January when everyone's waiting to do it, I'll wait till New Year's and then I'll just do it now. Just start getting really in your zone right now. What do you want to do? What do you want to achieve? And now you'll have a 14-month year instead of a 12-month year if you start now, and you'll have way more success and be a lot more ahead of people just because you have that hunger. It's just stay hungry and just keep taking a lot of action, and eventually it just starts creating all this momentum, and you're like, you can't even slow it down, and that's what you want. So
Right. Well, thank you guys so much. If it wasn't for your podcast and all the advice you're giving us, even outside of the 10X course, I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be doing this. I don't know what I would be doing. It wouldn't be nursing, but it definitely wouldn't be cleaning. If you had asked me 8 months ago if I had, if I would ever envision myself doing this, I would have laughed at you quite a bit because, I just never thought this would happen. And yet here I am. So thank you guys. Thank you so much. I absolutely attribute, the successes I've had to what you're being able to offer others.
that's
You're so
awesome.
welcome, Jen. You're
Yeah.
doing such a good job. Thank you for that praise. Yeah, you are the best example so far of just how to keep going with it and really make it happen. So keep it up.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you.
All right, so we'll wrap up this call, I guess, today. But thank you everyone for joining us, and hopefully you guys got inspired and had some new revelations and some new thoughts go off in your head of how you can just keep going with your cleaning business. And Jen, thank you again for being such a great example for everyone. I know a lot of people are going to look up to this story and just like use this as motivation and inspiration to keep going in their cleaning businesses, or if they're just starting out. So thank you for sharing your wins and your struggles and anything you're going through today. And we really appreciate you. So keep on going.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.